Hey everybody, this is Joseph and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to MMA Ground and Pound UFC 315 preview. By the way, UFC 315 goes down tonight in Montreal. We got a newcomer here. I've been told this guy is the king of MMA by GSP. I spoke to him this week. So his name is Skylar. Skylar, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks, Joe. You're the king. So nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem, my pleasure. By the way, it looks like you're in GSP's house. Are you doing some training with GSP or what?
Yeah. Just got in the office here, pulling up the maps and make some plans. Where we're
All
going
right.
next.
UFC's back at in Montreal tonight. Very good card, 2 championship matches. Before we get to the championship matches, let's talk about some Canadians in the prelims and everything like that. Let's start off with a lady prelim here. Jessica Andrade, number 7 in the world, taking on number 9 in the world, Canadian. Who do you got in this one? A women's flyweight bout.
So I've been keeping an eye on the Canadians, of course. It's always a pleasure and an honor when Dana brings the UFC into Canada. We get a whole bunch of Canadian fights. And Jasmine Jasudavicius, one of my favorites. Been following her for a while, and as she comes up, big test here. Definitely like her to win. The odds makers are going to agree with that. She's a pretty heavy favorite, over 300, over minus 300 now. It's been moving up. Like her in this fight. I think Jessica Andrade getting a little up there in age and taking a few beatings. I think Jasmine's gonna win this one. I like it by submission as the manner of victory. But this is a big test, so if she can pass this test and puts her right in contention for title, and I'd really like to see that. I think that's what we're going to have happening here. Big night for Jasmine in the Bell Center. That's what I'm looking at.
All right, so let's get to the prelims and let's continue with I like ladies. All right, so women's flyweight bout, number 1, Alexa Grasso versus number 5. This should be a real slugfest. Who do you got in this one?
So this is a tough one to call. I'm just going to enjoy this fight as a fan, actually. Looking back, Silva actually beat Jasmine Jasudavicius a couple years ago. Moving up, of course, she's now winner of this fight. Probably fight the winner of the title fight coming up tonight. I don't have a pick. I'm just going to enjoy this fight, and we'll see how it goes. Natalia's nice kicker. See if those kicks come into play and she's going to take out Alexa. We'll see. I think if I had to pick, I would go with Alexa, the experience. But, this is up in the air. See it go either way. Should be a great fight, so we're in for a treat.
And of course, Alexa rated number 1, so she's the slight favorite in this one. Now, I hear little birdies telling me that this could be Jose Aldo's last bout. If
he's correct there, actually, believe it or not, Natalia Silva is actually a more than 2-1 favorite.
Yeah,
not.
So, and she's rated number 5. So this is why it's a toss up. Number 5 against number 1, but number 1 is the underdog. So you figure that out. So, and then like I mentioned, Jose Aldo versus another Canadian. This should be a really, really good bout, a featherweight bout. Who you got in this one?
Yeah. So Ayman Zahabi, our Canadian, really like him. He's 12-2. He's actually the underdog here, which to me that gives us a lot of value. He's up and coming. He's on a win streak. I think it's been 5 in a row. I think Aldo's towards the end of the line here. This could be his last fight. But yeah, I'm going with Ayman here as the underdog. Nice payday possibly.
First of all, let's continue with Aldo. If it is his last bout, that's what I hear. If he loses, it may be his last bout. What are your favorite memories of Jose Aldo?
I was never a huge Aldo fan, so I don't really have some marquee moments or memories. I'll give you one memory that I enjoyed is when Conor knocked him out in 9 seconds. That's probably the biggest thing I can recall on the negative side for him. But yeah, he is a legend. Got to give him respect. But I was never really a close follower of Jose.
Okay, so let's get to the co-main event, women's flyweight title bout. Shevchenko comes in as the champion. She will take on number 2. Who do you get? This one, another. These are good fights. Nothing spectacular. Nothing goes off the page, but they're coming back to Montreal. And let's face it, when UFC was on the rise, Montreal with GSP there was always one of the staples. Of course, GSP headlined the show here at the Rogers Center, formerly Skydome, but Montreal was the staple first to come in to the UFC. So who you got in Valentina Shevchenko match?
Yeah, this is a tough one. What a fight! Manon's been on the rise, and she's finally here fighting for the title. She's great. Valentina, of course, possibly the GOAT. Love her too. This is another women's fight where it's hard to pick a winner. Just it's one of those. Just want to watch the fight and enjoy it. I can't even pick one. If you're going to force me to pick one, I would probably go with Valentina, just because I've loved her for such a long time. Such a dominant fighter, but I would not be surprised at all. This could go either way.
All right. And let's get to the main event there for the welterweight title. Belal Muhammad, very good friends of CM Punk, up against number 5 contender Jack. Who you got? Is it Belal all the way?
So this is an interesting one, and it's going to depend who could impose their will. Belal has the chain wrestling and the pressure on the wrestling, and if he can impose that on Jack like he did to Leon in the previous fight, things look like it could go his way. That said, Jack has a lot of power and a lot of cardio, similar to Belal, so the cardio will stand up, and if Jack can get a couple big hits in there, that's his route to victory is through knockout. But this is a really tough one to call. I like the plus money on Jack. That's probably where I would go. But Belal's great, and this is another great fight to watch. Interestingly, this fight could determine a lot for the future of the UFC. So, of course, if you don't know, Belal's close with the Islam Makhachev Khabib group, trains with them. If Belal wins, that could set up a Topuria Islam match. If Belal loses, then Islam has that option to come up and to the next weight class, be a champ in 170, and take on Jack for the title. So a lot of repercussions on how this fight goes. It'll be very interesting.
And that fight is speculated to go on International Fight Week in July. So that's very big implications. Like you're right here. A couple final questions. That is the main event of UFC 315. But I gotta ask you here. We always talk about Conor, John Jones, and everything like that. So let's start off with Conor. Do you think he's coming back this year? And who? If I gave you the book, you're in the new Dana White. If I gave you the book, who would you book him against?
What a tough question to answer. We all want to see him come back. Does he still have it? Who's he going to fight? So it had to be someone in the top 5, I would say, maybe closer to 5. Give him a tune-up. I can't see him fighting for the title right away. So anyone in the top 5 to 10, let him pick, or let Dana figure that out. That's their job. Just to have him back, win or lose, would be such an event. So we'd be lucky to see that. I don't think he's coming back, but hopefully he does.
All right, and John Jones, what's next for him?
So this is what we've been waiting for. Dana White pegs this as possibly the best fight ever in the heavyweight division between Tom Aspinall and John Jones. I think the money will talk. If we can get that payday for John Jones, it's probably what it's going to take. Be really disappointed if we don't get that fight. Hopefully it happens this year. John Jones, Tom Aspinall, that's what we're hoping for.
That's I hear it may go down in November at Madison Square Garden, but I think a fight like that, it's too small for Madison Square Garden. I think they have the Rogers Center, or they could go. There's some people say that fight may go down in Brazil in front of Maracanã Stadium, where it fits 100,000 fans.
Wow, that's crazy.
So that, I think it is probably too small for Madison Square Garden. Of course, Madison Square Garden is the Mecca and all that, and everybody loves them. But a fight like that, do you agree, should go into 100,000 seat stadium?
I hear Dana doesn't love the stadiums. He likes the more intimate atmosphere in the arenas furthermore, John Jones from New York, kind of be his dream. He loves fighting in Madison. I think that would be ideal.
Dana likes the money also, right? So, you never know. And by the way, you hear it here first. TKO now owns the UFC. I have heard rumors that in Saudi Arabia, maybe in October, November, December, that we're gonna have like a SmackDown on Friday, a major UFC event on Saturday, and a WWE event on Sunday. Do you think they're going to do more of these sort of takeover weekends?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You got to try it out, right? See how it goes. Bring it together and give it all at once. Yeah, I'd be interested to see that.
All right. What bout are you looking for the most tonight?
Ooh, so I love the Canadians. So I don't really have a favorite per se, but Mike Malott in the last of the prelims against Charles Radke, big test for him. Another up and coming Canadian. Love that fight. Love the Jasmine Vicious fight, Canadian. Couple early prelims I'm looking at betting wise is Zhang Young Lee is now a -140 favorite. Started off as the underdog. If you're looking for a betting angle, Zhang Young Lee just to win, it's a reasonable price still. Like that. But the two championship fights, can't wait to see those. Another Canadian, Eamon Zahabi, looking at that one. There's a lot of good fights. Just a great card. So I'm excited for the whole thing.
Young Lee's taking on Daniel Santos from Brazil. Very, very close featherweight bout there also. So now I'll leave you with this, Skylar, since you're the newcomer to Fired Up Network. And I mentioned, if I gave you're the new Dana White, which match, any fight, would you pay to watch? Go out of your way. I have to watch this one. It could be whatever weight class, whatever. What match would you pay to watch?
I'll give you two, and we've alluded to them already. John Jones, Tom Aspinall is going to be huge, yeah. Possibly one of the biggest. I'm just praying we get that fight, so that'll be number one. And then if we could see Makhachev versus Topuria, that would be beautiful. I'd love Topuria to get a tune-up fight at the weight class, but with or without a tune-up fight, that's one I'd really love to see if he can keep up with Makhachev.
All right, as we mentioned tonight, UFC 350. When are they going to get rid of it? Like in 3 years, it's going to be UFC 6,641. All right, and GSP will be involved tonight. Do you think GSP does something, or they build like some fight with him or whatever, or he will be involved tonight? That's what I have heard.
Yeah, anything involving GSP, we always love that. You think he might come back for a fight?
If the money's right, that's what I hear, but I don't think he's going to come back for a fight. Maybe he'll announce, it's Hall of Fame or something like that coming in July or August.
That could be it. Yeah, perfect night to announce that if he's not already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And one other question here, and since you're the new expert here for Fired Up Network, do you think the UFC has gone down? Used to have, cards in Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, and all that. And now I hear they're going to go to Calgary or something, and that's it. Do you think? And every week there's a fight night, and there's a pay-per-view, and then there's another. Do you think it's gone down a little bit?
I don't think so. I kind of like that weekly. It's like once a week, kind of like the NFL. Well, NFL is more than one day a week, but once a week, not every week. We don't need one every week, but having one almost every week is kind of nice. It's always something to look forward to every week. Feel that appetite, that MMA appetite.
So are you training, saying your prayers, eating your vitamins? Are you going to go in the octagon to take on Conor and to take on Bilal, to take on, hell, I'll bring on CM Punk back.
Yeah, that's funny. Actually, funny you mentioned that. I'm looking to start taking some jiu-jitsu. Really? I'm just interested all around in that. But at my age, you might be surprised, pushing 50, I don't think I'm going to be fighting.
Pushing 50?
48 this year.
Wow. And I know you 47 of those years. Come on. All right. Any last comments here before we watched the UFC 315? Like, seriously, 315 pay-per-views, 315 UFC. Which is give me one or two of your favorites. Was it UFC 3? Was it UFC 100? They made a big stink about that with Brock Lesnar and everything like that.
I can't think of the number of but the last couple of years, anytime Islam's fighting or anytime Chimaev's fighting, I love watching those guys when they're in the card and they usually put good cards together. That's great. Those have been some of the events I like. Mainly, like Khabib used to be my favorite. It was sad when Pops passed away. Otherwise, he could possibly still be fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Islam picked it up. Big fights come along, and can't miss fights. I like them. Love it. Love to see when they put a good card. Tonight's a good card. Any good card like that, love it. Can't get enough.
All right. Do you want to tell everybody your social media, or nobody call you, just call Joe?
Yeah. I'm not much on social media, just getting into it. So maybe next time.
All right. So again, UFC goes down tonight. The prelims begin at 8. The show begins at 10 from the Bell Center in Montreal. UFC 315, and that's Skylar Corbin breaking down. And Skylar will be back here periodically. Maybe not every week. I'm not gonna bother you every week, but periodically with all the big fights here to break it down. And very good from betting perspective. Do you make some money on these bets or what?
Yeah, it's been not too bad lately, actually. Try and stay away from the parlays as best you can. It's a loser's bet, but yeah, it's been okay lately. Can't complain. Right. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure with the king of social media here.
First of all, not the president of the provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, soon to run for the mayor of Mozambique. I can't spell it. And here's the whole thing. The big question is, will Donald Trump, Mr. Orange, be in attendance today? Because he, in New York, he's in attendance. In Florida, he's in attendance. Basically, him and Dana White really, really, I like to have Dana White's wallet, put it that way.
Right? Yeah, I'm going to think Trump's not coming to this one. So maybe he'll surprise us.
And by the way, Mr. Orange, president, if you make this the 51st state, we're not the 51st state. We're going to be the 63rd. Because if you look, and Skylar, you could attest to this, Canada has 10 provinces, 2 territories. So if you add 10 plus 2 is 12. And he wants to make us the 51st, it's going to be the 63rd.
Anyway. Yeah, I always find that hilarious. Like, you're going to make the whole country as one state. Like, yeah, at least 10 states, 51st or 16th state. I just think it's hilarious, 51st state.
Yeah.
But you might make Alberta 51st state.
Yeah, Alberta, but, I'll tell them some people want Quebec to go to New York and Buffalo to move to Ontario. So that's all I'm saying. All right, that's Skylar Coleman with the breakdown of UFC 315. Thanks a lot, Sky.
Thank you. Take care. All the best. Enjoy.